Welcome back to the ZeroW Podcast, where we talk about lifting, coaching, and more. You can learn more about Zero by going to www.zero.com.au. That's Zero with a W. We are also proudly sponsored by Establishment Coffee. Head to establishmentcoffee.com.au. Use the code 025 for 25% off and free shipping. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. That's what all the cool kids say. And if you're on Spotify, hit that 5-star review. We love it. Enjoy the show now. We are back. Welcome back. Special guest CJ today.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, CJ.
Hey,
Welcome.
Bridget. Hey.
CJ's always here with us, though.
The
He's
people.
always sitting over on the couch, but now he's on the other side of the camera today.
Yes, I'm in front of the camera for
Who was it? Mikey V got his wish. CJ's back on the podcast.
We put a vote out for who is the favorite Filipino, and CJ won. So James is no longer joining us.
Jeez.
No, he's horrifically sick, allegedly. Can we
Wow.
can we verify this?
He is sick. Yeah, he's been sick since yesterday.
Oh, did he eat something?
We don't know what it is. He's just had a really upset
Oh,
stomach. Yeah, he was up all night. Poor
Sounds
thing, so.
very nasty. So praying that he's better soon.
Poots is happy he gets to stay home in bed all day, so he doesn't mind.
Yeah, I bet. All right. Well, why don't we start with some gratefuls?
Oh, I spent
I
all my
had-
time looking for a quote. I
I've got
forgot
my-
a grateful.
Okay, good. Do your
uproar.
quotes. Do your quotes first, and then
Okay, well,
while you're doing that, think of a grateful.
I'll start with mine. So it starts off as, in quotation marks, how to prevent smile lines, followed by, there are 1,000 more important things to do with your time than postpone evidence of life's joy on your face.
Nice. I like that.
Very good.
I like that as a man with a very leathery face.
You don't have a leathery face.
Leathery.
Do I got wrinkles?
Oh,
Crow's feet.
stop. We all have wrinkles.
CJ, what you got?
If a bird lands on a branch, does it trust the branch or does it trust its wings?
Ooh.
I
I've
love
seen
this.
many birds land on branches. I've never seen a branch break and let the bird fall and die. So trust your wings.
Nice.
How'd you have that ready?
I write down quotes in my notes, so I've got heaps. that
Okay,
I
yeah.
have.
Yeah, I
I do know
screenshot
this.
everything.
It's legit one of my all-time favorites. I love that quote.
It's a great quote.
Mine is from the show How I Met Your Mother. You can ask the universe for signs all you want, but ultimately we only see what we want to see when we're ready to see it.
That
Nice.
is very true.
Nice. My one is when small men begin to cast shadows, it means that the sun is about to set.
Oh,
About people getting a bit too big for their britches.
yeah. That's a good one.
Can you say it one more time?
When small men begin to cast shadows, it means that the sun is about to set.
I don't get it.
I just explained what it meant.
When small men begin to cast shadows, it means the sun's about to set.
I get what it means literally.
Yeah,
Mm.
but I don't understand what it's supposed to symbolize.
Yeah. What you say? Like get too rich.
Like, is it a greed thing?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, like people who people who are the most brash and loudest and arrogant, their time is always short.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's cool.
I guess that's the gist of it, or at least that's how I take it.
Stay humble.
Really about integrity.
Mm.
All right, what are we grateful for? I'll go first, seeing you didn't prepare. I am grateful for my CPAP, my continuous positive airway pressure machine. So I've slept with a CPAP since 2017. As you all know, I travel quite a lot. I've never forgotten my CPAP until this most recent trip, and it's been horrible. So like, I am so grateful for coming home to it, but I've got a week of no sleep to catch up on.
Very rough.
What's it like to try and sleep without it?
Very broken.
Yeah.
Lots of snoring, lots of waking up choking.
Yeah, wow.
Basically, even if you don't get any of that, you essentially go to sleep and then wake up feeling like you never went to sleep.
Oh, man.
So it's more just like you feel a bit delirious on very little sleep, and you just make dumb mistakes. Like,
Yeah.
I made a lot of dumb mistakes in the last week in terms of like, even as simple as just like walking to the wrong gate in the airport, or doing like transactions and putting the wrong thing in the description. Just really silly mistakes.
They say lack of sleep has the same effect as being intoxicated. Yeah.
Definitely feels like it.
Mm.
Yeah, I made a big error a couple of years ago. I was doing some really big transactions, like paying off a whole bunch of equipment, like tens of thousands of dollars. And I did it all, like 3 major transactions completely wrong. Like wrong accounts, moving the wrong money to the wrong place. And that was my wake-up call. My new rule is like after a long-haul flight, when I'm sitting in a lounge waiting for the next one, never do important work like that.
Yeah. Yeah, wow.
No matter how much I feel like I need to, just don't do it. It's not worth it. All right, Meg, what are you grateful for?
You really don't realize when you're doing something when you're tired. Hey, like I left the door open the other day and I have no recollection of leaving the car door open. Anyways, yeah, so I'm grateful for all the great videographers I have around me. We got CJ here, Geordie, and my brother just left his full-time job and he's freelance now. And I just get to shoot more content with him nowadays. It's lots of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, bit of a random one, but it came to mind. Yeah.
CJ.
I'm grateful that I can train at a gym. Not just like Zero, but like be in a place, well, I guess live in a society where I have access to a gym that I can train at. So tomorrow I fly out to go to the Philippines.
Really?
To see family and whatnot. And all I can think about is like where mum's from is like very countryside and rural. There's no gyms there.
Yeah, it's the same as mine.
And it's like, well, what if I grew up there? Like instead of here, like I wouldn't be able to train. Now, because it's such an integral part of my life, I can't imagine life
Not being able to train.
lifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you just not going to train while you're over there?
Probably not. It's just a week.
Yeah.
So not too long.
Put a pig on your back and do some lunges.
There would be pigs there for me to.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. Bridget, what do you got?
I don't know. I'm really grateful that the weather was beautiful over the long weekend. You know, I think I used the weather last week as well, but
That's okay. We've
it
had
was
great
so
weather.
nice. We just were out a lot. We were out in the sun, walking the dog, going to the beach. It was beautiful.
Nice.
It was so nice, like recharging. You literally feel recharged after you go and sit in the sun for a while.
My mood changes after I go for a
same.
walk outside.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, same. I get real grumpy. I want to hear more about this Philippines trip. So, are you taking your drone again? Because you got some really cool shots last time.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know what I haven't really planned anything. Mum's kind of done all that side. But yeah, I'll bring on my camera gear.
Because, so, remind me, like, last time you went, you flew in and you had a day or two in a more, like, built-up place, and then you went to the countryside and spent a week or so there. Is it sort of the same thing?
Yeah, same thing. So we're flying to Manila, the capital. So it's kind of more like our Sydney. It's just a super busy city.
More guns.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. More guns everywhere. So we'll just be there for like a day just so we can like, I guess, exchange money and whatnot. And then the next morning we fly to where mum's from.
Yep.
And then we're there for pretty much the whole week. Then we fly back before coming back to Australia.
What are you most excited for?
Ooh, I'd have to say like switching off. Lately I've been quite busy and it's been full on, which is good. But it's funny, like going into this, I've almost, I guess, I don't want to say been so locked in, but been so like going forward that I'm almost scared to kind of like stop.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So it's like, my house is like, are you looking forward to going to the Philippines? I'm like, I don't know. Because it's like, it's such a sudden, but I also know I probably need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find, and I'm just talking from my own experience, when I'm feeling like that, like super locked in and everything's really productive, and then I have to stop and do something like that, stopping that, your mind will be like, you need to keep doing stuff. Then you kind of relax into what you're doing over there, and it actually makes you hungrier once you come back to just keep pushing. Plus, you're a little bit more refreshed, and you've had a belly full of Jollibee.
I'm so keen. Yeah, that is another thing I'm so keen for. Jollibee.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, like your comment around gyms, it always makes me think of, you know, the experience I've had in the Pacific Islands with the lifters and the kind of conditions that they lift in, how special it is with what we have over here.
Yeah.
And exactly like you say, it's not just a specialty gym like here, but just gyms in general.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere, 24/7.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. What have we been up to?
I've been holding the fort
Yep.
while you have been in America and the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Just hanging out with the dogs, doing my thing.
Yep.
Training. Yep.
Nice.
Bridget?
And James and I have been holding the fort here while
Nice.
you've been away.
Nice. No poods?
Yeah, Poots especially.
He's
He's
been
been
holding it
doing
down.
security,
Yep. He's good at
front
it.
door security.
He literally stands like at the door
Oh,
like this.
man.
Intimidating.
We actually say it's his job. He's going to his 9 to 5.
Yeah, nice.
Mm.
I wish he met one of the members. Brought in a Rottweiler that he has that was like twice the size of Jerry.
Oh, my God.
Like,
really?
One of the ones with the really big fat heads.
Yeah.
Meg knows the difference. It's like UK and USA Rottweilers. And
Yeah.
They have that different look. Is Jerry's UK, right? Or
Jerry
you-
seems kind of lean, like kind
Yeah.
of svelte.
I think there's American and German.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a British one.
Yeah, okay. One's got like a real fat, shorter head, and then the other one's got like a longer snout like
Yeah.
Jerry. And this one was the fat head one, and it was so big. It would have been like 60 kilos. It would have been so funny to open the door of that dog on one side. His name was Gaz. Gaz on one side and Poods on the other side. See them go face to face.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, I headed over to... So the original plan was I was meant to go to Miami for the Ghost Clash because I coached Danny Grigsby and he was competing there. Then I was going to shoot over to the UK for a week and hang out at the UK gym and then go to Ireland for Colton was meant to do the Clash of Titans, the ABS meet over there.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't end up happening because Colton didn't get his visa. There's a lot of weird rumors going around about Colton and his visa. A lot of people think that's a lie. So I kind of want to set the record straight on that because a lot of people think he was doing something weird to get out of it. So the truth is there was a group of sponsors that banded together to help him out with his travel because in South Africa, you don't earn a lot of money and their dollar's really weak.
Mm-hmm.
So like our dollar goes 15 times further than their dollar. So I banded up with a few of his other sponsors. We put together the money for his flights. So we paid for his flights over there. And it was getting to the date that he was having to fly and he didn't have his visa yet. And so I was actually the one that made the call to cancel the flights, not him. He was willing to wait till the second he was meant to be at the airport, but for the sake of not losing all the sponsorship money, I made the call to cancel the flights. And the visa thing was very real. So Nicholas DePria, who also went over there, he got his visa in time because he applied a little bit earlier. But this year they had changed all the rules. So in the past, you didn't need a visa to go to Ireland from South Africa. You could just go. So they changed the rules and neither of these guys realized. So by the time they realized and applied for the visa, it was just a little bit late.
Has it even come through yet?
No, doesn't have his
Wow.
passport back.
Wow.
Yep. So,
They just have his passport.
yeah, because that's normally how it works.
Yeah, wow.
Like when we've had to get visas for China or various other countries in the past, I've had to get visas for. You take your passport there, you fill it out, and then you leave it there until they give it back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they put like a special thing on the page.
Mm.
So yeah, so I ended up going to Miami for the Ghost Clash with Danny Grigsby. That was cool. It was cool to finally meet him in person. I've spent a lot of time on the phone to him and going back and forth with him, coaching him for the last year or so. And it was his first meet in 2 years. He'd had some issues, and then we were prepping for a meet and he tore his quad quite bad. So this was our first actual competition together. And all things considered, he did really well.
That's cool.
He hit a squat personal best. Bench, he had a hard time. His butt came up on his second attempt. And then his third attempt, he was so focused so hard on his butt staying down that he wasn't able to get it up. Then his deadlifts were looking stronger than ever, like stronger than they have been for a long time. And we were both confident that he had 500 in him on the day. But he had torn his thumb about a month ago and then retore it twice. And so it wasn't fully healed. So it tore on his warm-ups, but he was still able to hold onto the bar for his opener. Then on his second attempt, it basically took half his thumb off.
Oh, my God.
So he stood up with his second attempt, which was 467.5.
Damn.
Stood up with that, no problem at all. But at the top, it just
Oh,
ripped
They
off.
made him hold it up there for a while.
Well, it's because it was tearing while he was coming up, and his shoulders weren't fully back. So they were waiting for him for that last little bit of lockout.
Oh my God, so
And
painful.
then it ripped completely.
When
But that first attempt deadlift secured him the win. And the two other people that could have pulled to win, I don't even think they were looking at the score because they were both within 2 dot points of him.
Oh.
And they could have added, 2.5 or 5 kilos to their
Yeah.
third attempt deadlifts and beat him. One of the guys pulled his third and got it, so he probably could have actually beat him, and the other guy failed his third anyway. So thankfully, Danny still won the meet, got his money, had the trip paid for, and learned some lessons, but still really, really solid foundation. A lot of stuff that we can work on from here, and yeah,
unreal.
And then UK is just around the corner once you've gone all that way, so I still popped over there and hung out for a couple of days.
How long's the flight to the UK?
Like 7 hours.
That's so much closer than what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, still nasty, but
Yeah. How's things in Wales? I know you were just there.
yeah, good. I mean, they're killing it. That gym is doing really well, and Jordan and the team are crushing it over there. And yeah, it's really, really good.
Amazing.
Nice. All right. Well, we had a subject suggested by Sue Harris a couple of weeks ago, which is to talk about some of the common mistakes in terms of not understanding the rules of powerlifters that we see competitors make. So all of us have spent a lot of time at competitions in varying capacities. What are some of the first things that come to mind in terms of like stuff lifters really need to know and understand before they get on the platform?
The main one that pops into my head is jumping the calls.
Yeah.
A lot of people know how to lift properly, but when it's their first comp, a lot of them and their coaches aren't aware that you have to wait for calls. So that's the main one. It's horrible when you see someone like grind out a really hard attempt and then jump the rack call.
Yeah.
It's the worst. It's almost heartbreaking giving them
Yeah.
that red light.
Yeah.
So that's the main one that I think of.
And what do you suggest people do to...
Start practicing them in training.
Yeah.
Hold your squats for a second at the top. Hold your bench for a second at the top. Hold your deadlift. Get used to that pause before you have to put it down or rack it. And practice it get your coach to put it into your programming as well. In my transition and peak blocks is when I really get them to start practicing with the calls.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're in person, you do the calls with
Absolutely.
them,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because on the platform, even if you're aware of the call, if you haven't practiced it, your body's probably just going to do what it is instinctually.
That's it. It's just muscle memory. You're automatically going to step forward and rack that bar unless
or
you
with
practiced
bench.
it.
A lot of people will do their last rep of bench and not stop it and then bring it back in. They kind of go like this. for the
Yeah,
last one.
that's it. And you see them sort of hold for a second. They're like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I already started that momentum.
This is kind of funny, but it's actually a really cultural thing in the IPF. They tend to hold the start and finish quite long,
Yeah.
which is a good habit to be in.
It's a great habit.
But when you spot them, and you never know how many reps they've got. They get to the top, you're like, oh, he's getting ready for another one. Yep. Okay, come on. And a lot of the times I've yelled yeah, let's go. And then they walk
And then
in.
they step in.
But it is a really good habit to be in. I used to tell people back in the day when we were all GPC, or a lot of us were GPC, you've got the monolith, so you stand up, they swing the rack in a lot of the time too early. And when they swing the rack in, you just put the bar down. And so if they haven't said rack and the person on the monolith gate has just shut it, you get red lights. So I used to tell people literally just stand there if you don't hear the rack call, they might say rack. If you don't hear it, just keep standing there.
Yeah, and they'll say it again.
Until
or-
the spotters are just put it back.
Yeah,
Yeah, or push you in or something.
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I do the calls in my head.
Yeah.
When I'm practicing singles for bench, I'll unrack and I'll just wait, and then I'll do the calls on my own in my head.
Oh, I've never done that before.
Yeah, it's real dumb. Because you're always going to give yourself a faster press call than you'll get in real life.
Yeah.
But at least, especially for the start and rack, you get used to holding it.
I kind of just chase feeling stable, and it kind of times with the call. So if it's bench, I'll hand myself out, and I won't go down until I feel like I'm still. And I guess that would be somewhat equivalent to somebody giving the start command.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have any of you guys ever missed a lift on calls that you can think of?
No, in prep I did. In my peak, I used to jump the squat call all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but never at comp.
As in, like, you've asked someone over to give you
Yeah,
the
like
calls.
I've called James over. Can you give me the calls? And I just walk out, start squatting.
The second or third comp I ever did, you were there. They wouldn't give me the start command the squat command for squatting because I had soft knees, and I had no idea. Yeah, they were like, "Look at your knees," and I was like, "Ooh."
At the APU one.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. There you go.
Mhm.
Did they give it to you eventually?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're nice. I've missed every call except the down call on deadlifts.
As in dropped it.
As in, like, I've always made the
You've
down
jumped
call.
a call
Yeah.
on
Like
every
a-
call except deadlifts.
sorry, and rack on squats. So I've missed start on squat, start, press, rack on bench, and that's it.
How can someone miss start? It's the easiest one.
I don't know.
I forgot to brace on my opening deadlift at a comp once.
Not even
I
a
walked out
call.
and I'm like, when do I brace? And then I just picked it up. Thankfully, it was my opener. My brain just didn't want to
Oh
work.
my
You know what it's
gosh.
like on comp
Yeah.
day sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. You guys know I never clip up my belt. Like, I've always got it unclipped. I've had so many times where people have like yelled at me, "Do your belt, your belt's undone." Like, no, this is how I wear it. There's a spotter. His name's Spiros. He's Marcus's brother, like PTC headquarters. So he was like the top dog back spotter for years and years. And he does like the bear hug thing when you unrack, like he holds you around the waist and then lets go. And he did it once and felt it and tried to clip it up. And I had to be like, no.
Oh wow.
Would it do up if people tried to clip it up?
Probably not.
No.
It would. It would just like squish me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What else? So calls are a big one. What are some other like common?
I notice a lot of spectators, especially if I'm near the front reffing, I'll hear their commentary. If they see a deadlift they think looks fine, like they didn't see anything alarming happening, they're like, I don't get it. Why didn't that person get white lights? And generally it's because wherever you're sitting in the crowd could make a person's shoulders look vastly different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, from the front, something could look so perfect, and then just like 25 degrees to the left or right, it looks really, really soft.
That's it.
So that one I think a lot of spectators pick up on or
Yeah.
notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soft knees is another one. I used to be guilty of soft knees as well in the deadlift.
Okay.
And yeah, that's one that we have to sort of remind a lot of people about when they come out and they look out. The knees are a little bit soft. Just squeeze your quads.
Yeah.
Squeeze them together.
Yeah. I try and like put on my good guy duties when I'm in the warm up room. If I see someone warming up and they're squatting super high or deadlifting like that with soft knees, I try and either speak to them or speak to their coach and just be like, hey, just so you know,
Yeah.
you're probably going to get reds if you do that out there. So
Yeah.
go a little bit lower. But yeah, soft knees and shoulders. Soft shoulders is a really hard one because the rule book is very unclear as to what that actually means. So it doesn't, the rule book sort of talks about standing erect with the knees and the shoulders locked. So there's no such thing as soft hips. There's no ruling for the hips weren't locked out. But like, because there's not a defined point as what soft shoulders actually is, it's one thing I really want to fix in the rule book. Like, you think depth, yeah, it's still up to interpretation, but there's a clear rule. It's like top surface of the leg at the hip needs to be slower than the top surface of the knee, lower than the top surface of the knee. There's nothing like that for shoulders. It just says locked out.
Yeah.
So like, what does locked out even mean?
Because sometimes it's hard. You've got someone who's doing sumo, for example, and they're doing like double overhand, and then when they lock out, it still looks like the shoulders are forward a bit, but that's as far as they can get them back.
Yeah, and and they might be leaning really far back. So like their shoulders are like behind the bar, but relative to their torso are kind of rounded forward. It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. So it's soft knees, soft shoulders.
Just soft lockouts in general.
Soft lockouts in general. I think deadlift socks is a big one. A lot of people walk out without deadlift socks on.
Yes.
Just becomes
Yes.
like, I don't know, forget to... I get it. Like, I never wear any of my comp equipment in training. I'm pretty bad for that. Like, I never wear deadlift socks, ever. I only wear them on comp days. I only ever wear shoes to deadlift in on comp days. I only ever wear a soft suit on comp days. So I get it with people like that. It's easy to forget. You get so automatic in what you do. So, yeah, make sure you know all the comp equipment. What are some other big ones?
I mean, butt lift on bench is a big one, but I feel like most people know that.
Yeah.
I assume they would. I would hope they would. You got to keep your butt down.
Same with depth. I think the really hard thing with depth is that a lot of people who squat high genuinely don't think they squat high.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to make some posts that can be on the Federation pages about, like, here is what depth actually means. So there's no ambiguity for people. So people can then film themselves and watch themselves and be like, oh, this is actually high.
Yeah.
Because it is clear in terms of, again, top surface of the leg at the hip, lower than the top of the knee. But I think a lot of people look at it and they're like, oh, I'm deep enough.
Yeah.
And they're just not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think our reffing in here is some of the most consistent and best refereeing that I've seen. Big thanks in large part to you guys. But people are shocked sometimes. They think it's unfair. It's like, it's not unfair. It's literally by the book.
Absolutely.
Which
We don't
is-
want to go out there and give red lights to people.
No.
No.
Like, we specifically
We're calling
teach.
what we see.
Yeah, exactly. We specifically teach referees, you're not looking for red lights. You're just looking at the lift and calling it what it is.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There's no such thing as borderline. It's either high or it's good. That's it.
Yeah.
Inconsistency
Yeah.
in reffing sometimes can upset people, and I guess maybe in other federations it's a little bit more obvious or more complained about. But like sometimes you'll be really, really trying to make a good call, but a squat in real time versus like taking a screenshot of it is
Exactly.
so different, and it might
Yeah.
actually look passable to us, like to the naked eye at the time. And then screenshot later suggests like it was borderline, and that could seem like it's unfair or inconsistent reffing, but it's literally a split second.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we do all right.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's inconsistencies in every federation, and including, you know, the comps that we run here. There's always a layer of inconsistency because we're humans, for sure. It's just about setting up systems to make it as consistent as we possibly can. So for people who are unaware of like how powerlifting works, one of the big problems with refereeing, and for those who don't know, I'm like the referee guy in APL. So I'm the rules guy, the referee guy. That's my role with APL. So one thing I've found with federations over the years, I've reffed in every federation, including the IPF, and all of them at a high level. And the issue with refereeing historically is that you do this little quiz, and then you're a ref, and then you just learn from other refs that have gone through the same process, but everyone has their own biases. And so you just like get tossed around between what people think the rules are, even if they're not the actual rules. So coming into this role in APL, the first thing I did was go through the rule book and be like, if we only half referee this, or we have this rule here, but we sort of teach it differently, is we need to either change the rule or get rid of it. If a rule doesn't make sense, it shouldn't be there. And if we don't referee that rule, it shouldn't be there. And the problem with rule books is that they've evolved over the years, but the training has been non-existent or hasn't changed. And also, the rule books haven't changed as much as they've just added and deleted stuff. So there's still a lot of old rules that are just kind of like, what's the point? Like thumb loops on wrist wraps.
Yeah.
What's the point? Why does that need to be there? Why can't socks touch the knee sleeves? What advantage does that create? There's a lot of these like question marks in rule books that we should all be looking at and being like, why is that there? Does that need to be there?
I'm glad we took out the putting the bar down with control. So dangerous.
So
After
Oh,
a
yeah.
heavy lift.
well, the thing is, it's like the rule book still does say with control. It just defines what control
Yeah.
means, and
Yeah.
that's what I mean. That's a problem where like the rule book said you have to show control to the floor, but it didn't define it. And so some referees would be like, "That's too loud. That's out of control." It's like, what?
Yeah. It's 300 kilos. What do you expect?
Because the question you have to immediately ask to someone who justifies that is, okay, what decibel reading is good enough for it to not be loud enough for you to say that's in control? And how does that change if they're on a rubber platform or a carpet platform,
Yeah.
a platform that's got this amount of timber versus that amount of timber? Like, you have to ask all the questions that could lead to that justification being good or bad. And I mean, it being noisy is not good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And what competitive advantage does someone have by being quieter when they put the bar to the floor? Like, stupid.
Very stupid.
Is it the athlete / coach's responsibility to read over the most recent or updated rule book?
I think it's the athlete. Oh, I
Yeah.
think it's everyone's responsibility.
Mm.
Like, if you coach athletes, you should know the rules.
Mm-hmm.
If you are an athlete competing in a sport and you don't know the rules, you can't get upset when you break the rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. I'm
What
going
do
to
you
do the
think?
James thing and compare it to another sport. Imagine if you went
Yeah.
and, played a
right.
team sport and didn't know the rules. That's on you,
Yeah.
Well, the thing you just described before about Colton and what's his name, Nicholas,
Mm.
not realizing that the requirements for entry have changed when it comes to going into Ireland. It's not. It was an oversight, and it's their responsibility. But sometimes stuff like that happens. So what happens if there's a comp and something small, like a slight variation to the rule, is broken in this most recent comp, and they're like fighting for it hard, didn't realize it was a thing? Is it just kind of like tough luck?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm.
I mean, the just like with Colton and Nicholas, it's kind of like tough luck.
Mm.
And I mean that's actually quite a good analogy, because you could ask me the question, why didn't I look into it for him? I'm his coach.
Yeah.
I should have been aware of that too. I think a hard thing is we often look at things through the lens of our own experience. So when I think, okay, well, why didn't he look into getting a visa sooner? I think, well, if I was going to Ireland, I wouldn't do that either, because I've got the security of knowing I'm on an Australian passport and we can go pretty much anywhere.
Mm.
I very rarely think when I travel, do I need a visa? Do I need a special piece of paper? And so like the thought didn't even cross my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'd say the same thing happens a lot. Like when someone has a misloaded bar, most coaches and lifters probably don't know the protocols for that.
Yeah.
And so they're like, what? That happens? I get another attempt? I didn't know that.
Mm.
So yeah, it's definitely a tricky one.
What do you guys think of strictness when it comes to novice comps?
I think it's important, especially if they're using that comp to prepare for an actual sanction comp.
Mm.
So I like the way we do things. Like we make sure, is it the second and third, we're a little bit more strict. We're a bit lenient on the opening attempts.
Yeah.
Just so they can get a number on the board and have some fun. We don't want to see anyone bombing out unless it's, an obvious fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, novice comps don't have a rule book.
Mm-hmm.
There's no novice rule book. So it's up to the meet director and the referees as to how they treat it. But yeah, like you guys all know my position. You just said it. I want them to have a good experience, but I want them to have a real experience.
Absolutely.
Mm.
That's right.
In the past, we used to be way too lenient. And I mean, in the past as in before any of you guys were even involved. Like back in the PTC days, I was probably just like, just give everyone everything. It's all about having fun and falling in love with powerlifting. But if you teach someone that they can come to a competition and squat high as balls,
Yeah.
then they just go to a sanctioned comp and bomb, and they're like, I hate powerlifting.
Yeah.
It actually does the
Exactly.
wrong thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think it's good to learn that you can fail lifts quick. Like as in,
Yeah.
it sucks with lifters that go 9 for 9, 27 white lights for 2 years and then get a failed lift. They're devastated. If you fail on the first try,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that's nice. I can fail.
Mm-hmm. Not as scary as what they thought.
Yeah. What are some other things that we see as common, like
Ooh.
failures? I would throw out their timing of attempts, as in like people walking away from the table and then coming, especially at first time sanctioned comps, they come back 3 minutes later and they're like, oh, I want to put my second as this. We're like, can't do that.
Mm-mm.
You have to give your attempt in 1 minute after.
Yeah.
Or people who then come back and want to change their attempt, not allowed to do that.
Yeah. I think timing out, we saw lots of timeouts at States. There was a lot. Yeah. Make sure you're ready.
I think that
Make
was the
sure you're
most
ready
I've-
a few people
That
out,
was
you
the most
know?
I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
To be fair, that's a common occurrence with the Team Nauru.
Yeah.
very, very much on island time. At the Mackay comp, Flight B was ready, and because some of the Nauruan guys don't really speak very good English, and it's quite common for people with English as a second language when they don't understand to just like nod along.
Yeah.
So they'd had it explained to them that we had 3 flights. We were going to go fly ABC squats, then ABC bench, like run through the comp as we normally would. They mistook it as like flight A would go squat bench dead, flight B would go squat bench dead. So flight B rolled around and they were outside sleeping.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So then we had the tricky situation of a bunch of these guys had been sleeping. A few other the non-Nauru team had warmed up and were ready to go. Like, who do you give grace to? I mean, like by the book, you should just say, well, tough luck.
Yeah.
But we sort of collaborated with everyone and made a plan together, which ended up being extending the warm-up time by about 10 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
A few of the Nauru guys warmed up in that time and did a first attempt, and then a few of them just did their second and third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used that time, the first 10 minutes,
Oh
to
my
keep warming
God.
up. Yeah. But timing in general, I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because it's quite confusing. No one ever teaches you how to time your warm-ups and your attempts. And so what normally happens, especially for newer people, you go out the back and without fail, some goober's warming up like an hour too early. Like it's getting under the bar and squatting, and someone else sees that and they're like, I should be warming up. Then someone sees two people and they're like, oh shit, I should be warming up. Before you know it, there's 45 minutes before the flight starts.
And everyone's warmed up.
Everyone in the flight has an 80 kilo squat and everyone's up to 60 kilos with like 35 minutes to go. It's like, what are you going to do for 35 minutes?
What I tell my clients is I'm like, think back to your training sessions and however long it takes you to warm up to X amount in training, just give yourself about that amount of time on comp day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
a tiny bit extra.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is like a, okay, Tom bro, weird flex, but okay thing. But like, it's quite strange now that the stronger these lifters I work with get, the more I have to think about the timing of warm-ups. Like normally it's quite automatic for me. It's just
Yeah.
like, okay, last one's here, second last one's here, and then the other 3 or 4 just kind of fit in here. But when you've got someone opening up on like 450 kilos, there's just a whole bunch of extra warm-ups in there.
Nice flex, Tombo.
Yeah, thank you. Weird flex, but okay. No, it's just like a new challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not used to it.
Do you guys have anybody competing this weekend?
I do. I have one. I have Tori, Angus's
Tori.
partner.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep. Is the whole crew coming up?
Just Tori and Angus.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
What comp is this?
This is the mountaintop rumble.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Not too
Yeah.
bad. Well, Sue Fitzsimmons from here is competing,
Yes.
so I'm looking after her, and Chris Kennedy as well.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Hey.
and Andrew Olm from Brisbane.
Oh, is Andrew competing too?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's cool.
So I got the whole gang.
Didn't
Yeah,
Chris
nice.
just compete, or am I imagining that?
No, his last one was a Zero Pro.
Oh, okay.
So it actually doesn't make sense that he's doing this. Well, he's not doing it to qualify. He's already qualified. I think he's doing this more as just like
For fun?
he wanted to do a meet earlier in the year. So we haven't actually peaked hard for it. We've just done a couple of weeks of singles on top of his regular training.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming in strong though. Like he should break the all-time 82 kilo bench record.
Yeah, wow.
At
Nice.
this weekend?
Yeah, he needs to go 215.5,
Mm-hmm.
which is just incredible.
What's he opening on?
215.5 for bench.
Bench, yeah.
Yeah.
Opening on 205.
Damn. That's crazy.
And
That's
then-
That is crazy.
Should go low mid threes on squat and deadlift.
Because what is he, under 82?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hectic.
Goodness.
We're just setting him up nicely to, I think the under 82 all-time world record, like across all federations in the world, is either high 8s or low 9s. So he should be capable of hitting that
Wow.
come nationals in August, which is exciting.
That is very exciting.
Yeah.
Nice work, Chris.
Yeah. Very, very strong.
Very
young
strong
man.
family.
Strong family in general, yeah. Yeah, it was a shame. Like we went to New Zealand the other week, and Michael Kennedy, so Jessica's younger brother, competed there. He's competed here a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. I think twice, I think.
Did he do it at our gym, or did you do it at Southside?
He has competed here.
Yeah,
He has, yeah.
yeah. I think he's competed in Australia 2 or 3 times, but he bombed on deads. His deads were all super easy, but he lost balance at
Yeah.
the top of each one and missed all 3.
Is that just like a technicality?
What do you mean? Like
Like-
as in an issue with his technique?
Yeah, or not being used to that bar, so it pulled him, like, did something unexpected
Because
to
I mean,
him?
that's where he trains.
Okay.
There's no difference in equipment that would have thrown him. I think he stumbled on the first one and then he got in his head real
Yeah.
bad about it. Because I tried to go calm him down. I got up from the ref chair and tried to go talk to him a little bit, but I think he had just gotten so far in his head.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right. What else? Any other major things that we can think of?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
The one, I don't know why, but I get really, really picky about little things, like someone doing up equipment before, while on the platform beside their
Yeah.
belt. And
Mm.
I don't know why. I think I just want to polish it because I'm assuming that APL is only going to grow more and more, that I'm like, I just want it to be standardized.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually not that big of a deal.
Well, see, this is another thing that I hate that's in the rule book. You know, I need to do another big sweep and then present it to the people, because I prefer not to make decisions on my own or with the APL team. I like to put it to all the meet directors and preferably all the members and see what people think. But like, why is that an issue?
Yeah.
Well, like, there's very little consequence for it, so it's a minor infraction. So if you catch someone wrapping up their wrist as they walk onto the platform, you're meant to let them do it and then tell them afterwards, hey, you're not meant to do that.
Oh, I didn't even know.
If you do it next
Yeah.
time, we're going to stop you and make you fix it.
Mhm.
So if they do it the second time, it then becomes a major infraction. And so like you have to stop them and tell them, no, get off the platform in your time and correct it. And then the third time you'd red light them.
Yeah.
But like, why? Why is that an issue? It's just one of these dumb rules in powerlifting.
So the rule is you can't wrap your wrists
You
on
can't
the platform.
you can't adjust,
adjust any equipment except your belt
That's
on the
one.
platform.
Yes. So
Okay.
you know how knee sleeves are folded over, you can't pull them up,
Or people are putting wrist wraps on.
wrist wraps, pulling
Yeah.
up your soft suit. You can't do any of that
Yeah.
on the platform.
I guess it's a rule because it makes it look more professional. Like once they're on the platform, they're there, they're ready to go. I think like that's what makes sort of
That's 100% why it would be in there.
Yeah.
It's an old copy paste from IPF.
I
Yeah.
thought it might have been a cleanliness thing, because if you say you wear like a mouth guard or something, you're fiddling with it, then touching a bar, it just kind of is a bad look.
but they're doing it off the platform
I was gonna
anyway.
say,
so
yeah.
I
touching the
know,
bar.
I know, but people see it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like there's lots of unwritten rules in powerlifting as well. Like we used to be very on top of if someone swears on the platform, CJ. Someone swears on or off the
Man of
platform.
God.
It's like,
Yes.
hey, don't do that. And then it's so hypocritical because in the background you got, Rage Against the Machine screaming, "Fuck you! I won't do what you tell me." Or you got like Tupac dropping N-bombs every second word.
Yeah, true.
But if someone says, "Oh, fiddlesticks," you're like, "Whoa, language, pal! Stop it!
Not on the platform.
Not on my watch." Yeah, it's crazy.
We actually did have a spectator at Worlds. I think it was Worlds that said something about the swearing in the music. So we had a censored playlist.
Yeah.
I remember
Worlds.
that.
Mm.
He
Oh, wow.
fucking cornered me and attacked me for like
Oh,
10
really?
minutes.
Cornered me.
Yeah.
Cornered me.
Yeah, I was walking down the aisle. I was in the Novotel. I was walking down the aisle and he pulled me aside and he's like, "Is this your meet? Or is this your competition?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I want to talk to you about the music."
wow.
And he was swearing while he was talking to me. Like,
Really?
bro, what?
See, it rubbed off on him.
Is it,
We're a bad influence.
it's an interesting topic because it's like, I kind of see where people are coming from on the one hand. On the other hand, it's like, we're kind of exposed to swearing everywhere.
Yeah.
If it's about protecting the children, it's kind of like, well, why are we punished? Why are you putting the same effort in and writing letters to the editor, to your radio show, your TV stations?
Yeah.
I don't think
Magazines.
they swear on radio shows. Don't they bleep it out?
Depends on the radio show.
Really?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, the music thing is annoying. I want your opinion on this. So this is a weird hypocritical rule powerlifting has and has always had, which is no elbow sleeves on bench press. How come knee sleeves are allowed on squats, but elbow sleeves aren't allowed on bench press?
Yeah, that's a good
Because it
one.
gives you an advantage. Well, yeah. Yeah, crazy that, isn't it?
Yeah, it gives you support.
Oh, but
Yeah,
we,
that's a
we
good-
don't have
good
them. We
question.
should. If we added it now, it'll ruin the records. Yeah, just like ends and knee sleeves did.
Yeah.
And just like SPD sleeves did before
Yeah.
that. It's like, why? And so this
Hard
is
to answer.
this is a thing I want to be a front runner on. I want to be like, this is a dumb rule. Let's change it. But then because it's so culturally a rule,
Yeah.
people will look at you do something like that, and you potentially become a laughing stock. Like these
Yeah.
guys are making a mockery of powerlifting.
Powerlifting was equipped before it was raw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
So in its very first phases, you were allowed to wear knee wraps and a belt.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's called classic raw in some federations, because that was the original powerlifting. And then they started introducing suits, and there was no like equipped or raw division. It was just that was powerlifting. And then around 2008, more federations started introducing raw, which was sleeves and belt, and raw as we know it.
Such a young sport.
Jeez.
Yeah, wow, it is, hey.
2008.
Mm.
I just don't know.
I think elbow sleeves look funny, but other than that,
Yeah,
but that's just because we're not used to
because
them.
we're not used to it. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Like imagine if we did a meet and no one wore knee sleeves. You'd be like, why do everyone's knees look weird?
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
weird now
Yeah.
when someone comes out bare knees. You're like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Mhm.
Ultra
whoa,
raw.
what are
Yeah.
you doing?
Steve Wang. Yeah.
Does he squat with a belt?
Yeah,
I
it
think
took us
now
like,
he does.
Took us like 5 years to convince him to get one.
Andrew Houghton was like that. He used to compete, no sleeves, no belt.
I remember
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Now he's a runner. He's a track star.
Yeah, we
A
saw him
track
running
star.
in Broady.
Isn't he like
weekend.
really good at running?
Yeah.
I
very,
didn't know
very
he was that
good.
good.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Wow.
Yep.
Well, we need James's opinion. I think James said he was good. Anyway. All right. Anything else to add, or should we call it a day? Did you end up getting some quiz questions?
Well, but they've all been. I've just been using ChatGPT.
Wait. I didn't bring up Alien.
Oh yeah, all right. No, we got to finish on this. So
All right.
I
So
need to hear about this.
when I fly, I work the entire flight until I can't see the screen, and then I watch movies. And so when I fly from Australia, it's normally daytime flights, so I work a lot. When I fly back, it's normally red-eye flights, so I watch movies a lot.
Mm.
And so while I was away, I watched a few movies that I hadn't seen before. I watched some new ones, so like Nosferatu.
Oh, is it good?
and It's an art piece.
Everyone's been saying that, but it's
So I enjoyed it,
yeah.
but if you're expecting some like action, scary movie,
Yeah.
have you seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I just see Meg behind you.
Why?
I was like,
Well, you haven't seen it. Meg's scarred by a movie called The Lighthouse. Have you guys seen The
The
Lighthouse?
Lighthouse.
No.
It
The
sounds
worst
familiar.
movie in the world.
It's very
Worst movie in the
it's
world.
very much an art piece. Like
Yeah.
it's not a film with a plot. It's just like art in motion.
Okay.
And it's no good.
Well, I didn't mind it, but it
Mixed face. Oh, by the way, I watched The Substance. I agree with you guys. I thought it was good until the end.
Till the end,
was
right?
stupid.
Yeah.
And got so
Yeah,
stupid.
the end was so dumb. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
yeah. So Nosferatu, I would say it's worth a watch,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of into a bit more arty-farty movies.
Yeah.
I like stuff that either has a really solid plot or like you can tell has had a lot of thought and effort put into it.
Yeah.
Name another artsy fartsy movie like that that's good.
Like that. That's good. Well, I watched the second Joker.
Okay, I don't know what that
Have either of you seen that? Did you
but
like it?
Is it a bit of
didn't
a
mind it.
musical?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's again, it's much more of an art piece. And I think if you go into it with a direct comparison to the first one and you're
Yeah.
looking for like some action Batman film, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
But
But
if you appreciate it for what it is, you're like, this is actually fucking cool.
Weren't people
Yeah,
disappointed with the first one because it wasn't like an actiony Batman film?
I
It was
remember
more
that too.
Like it was realism.
Yeah, I think the thing people fail to understand is that Joker doesn't have a backstory.
Mm.
So like there's no, like when you watch a Batman movie, there's a defined origin story in the comics. Joker doesn't have that. He's just a character that appeared. So it's kind of like open fodder for what Joker is and where Joker came
Yes.
from,
That's cool.
Yeah.
which is what made the ending of it really interesting.
And is that
Of
why
the
he's such a
first film.
popular
Of the second
character to
Oh,
redo
yes.
all the time?
Yeah. Because, Joker was never meant to be a standing character in Batman in the comics. So they put him in, and then people loved it so much that he became one of the most notorious villains. He was meant to be literally just like a joke, just a throwaway character. Anyway, what else I watch? Nosferatu,
Alien.
Joker 2. I watched Blade Runner,
The new one or the old one?
the old one. So Ridley Scott.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ridley Scott, and I was like, you know what? I haven't seen Alien. So I'll watch Alien. So I watched Alien, Bridget's favorite film. And I have some criticisms.
Of course you do. Tell me.
First of all, let's talk about the cat.
Jonesy. We named one of our cats Jonesy after
Yep,
him.
Fair enough. There was no animal control. They're talking about all these like Ripley's talking about all the quarantine rules, and I'm like, yeah, go Ripley, understand science. They bring a fucking cat into the space station.
So
What if it was diseased? What if it had worms?
I'm sure
What
that
if it had
I'm sure like all the
Okay, more
crew that
importantly,
they checked the cat over as well.
were you happy with how she treated the cat at the end?
She was being chased by a monster. What do you want her
She
to do?
became a monster
No,
with
she
how
didn't.
she treated the
She
cat.
had to rescue that cat and save her own life at the same time. She didn't even have to go looking for Jonesy. When Parker and Lambert were being slaughtered, She was looking for the cat. She didn't have to. She wanted to save the cat.
No, it's no excuse.
No. If your life's on the line.
Tossed the crate and punted it.
She tossed it because she didn't have it. She was hysterical because she was being chased by an alien who just killed all the crew.
Okay.
Sorry, I just gave away the whole plot if you haven't seen it, but it's been out for 40 years. So that's on you.
That certainly
Sorry.
should have that pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
This also sort of speaks to the emotional problems that I have, because the whole time I was thinking, what's the guy's name that gets his head knocked off?
Gets his head knocked off. Oh, Ash, the robot.
So Ash, the robot. The whole time I'm thinking, fuck, this guy's the only one that has it together. This guy's the only one speaking logically, that's making sense. Then he turns out to be a robot with no feelings. So, and then my final and probably most major gripe, which might get me cancelled because it could come across as sexist, the other woman. What a waste of time.
No, Lambert. I'm sorry, but
how did
everybody
she-
gives Lambert a hard time. She
Yeah, for a reason.
She has the most human, realistic reaction to that monster than anybody else on that whole bloody.
I
ship.
agree with you, but that automatically should have disqualified her in the psych test to become an astronaut. They don't let people like that into space because you can't lead with your emotion. In a situation like that, you need to be switched on and solve problems.
I don't think they prepared for a situation like that.
You prepare for the unexpected as an astronaut.
They're a mining ship. Okay, they're miners.
I'm sorry, I don't care about the purpose. I care about the fact that if you're in space, you need to have your head screwed on, and she did not.
She did not.
They let Katy Perry into space.
Yeah, that's a problem. She's the modern equivalent of Lambert. I don't agree.
I think Lambert's actually one of my favorites because her reaction is real.
Okay.
It's so real.
Well, this speaks to you a lot.
I think it added to the realism of the movie.
Oh dear. No one else seemed to really care about the fact that an alien was sucking someone's face off. They're just like, whatever.
Miners. Gosh.
Yeah.
Say what you want. You can never make me hate that movie.
It also exposes a plot hole. Oh, no, it doesn't. I was going to say it exposes a plot hole because Ash voted to let him back on the ship instead of quarantining, but Ash was
in on it the whole time.
Yeah, bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's my extensive review.
I can deal with that.
Good movie otherwise.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Not in a rush to watch the second one after that.
Well, it's directed by James Cameron. It's a different one.
Wow.
And it's more action rather than horror.
Does it, in your opinion, is the first like the classic and best?
No, the second one is actually renowned as being the more popular one.
So like Terminator.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Terminator was by James Cameron as well.
Yeah. But that doesn't answer my question, which is what's your opinion?
I like them both equally. I can't decide.
Okay. Appreciate them individually for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Is the second one Alien versus Predator?
No, we don't talk about that.
Oh, okay.
That was way later on, right?
That was
More recent.
Yeah.
Like
So
2005.
Alien and Predator were two different universes, and then they brought them together in a video game, and then they made a movie out of it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Alien versus Predator was on, I think it was on PlayStation.
Yep.
Or was it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was where it all
Xbox.
started.
AVP.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Welcome back.
Bye.
Thanks for joining, CJ.
Thanks, CJ.
Having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the ZeroW Podcast. If you want more information, head to our Instagram, @zero_weakness. Hit the link in the bio for all of our services and any information on upcoming workshops and events. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review so we can have a broader reach and answer more people's questions. Thank you once more.